Hi, welcome to Soul Speak with Meg Michaelson. And today's podcast, we are going to be looking at living within a healthy belief system. And what does that mean? So we've all heard the word belief and what is our belief system and do we live by our belief system? A belief is something we put value to, such as I believe most people are good in their heart. I believe every problem has a solution. I believe we're never given more than we can handle. We've heard those statements many, many times from many different people. They become a belief, like an actual faith-filled belief when we feel they are true. They become part of our core. When we have sunk them into the new pathways, our new memories, our cells. So we have to have body participation. Whatever the belief is, it is either helping us move forward into our divine destiny or perpetuating that myth and the stories that keep us small. I'll never be enough. Good things only happen to other people. I'm stuck in this relationship or this job. It's also how we put our faith and trust in something else or someone else. You know, when we say, I believe anything is possible, things incorporate with other people. We don't do anything in isolation. I believe I can trust my friend to support me. I believe in a divine power who is here to walk with me. Sometimes we lose our faith in something because someone broke that trust. Or perhaps over our lifetime, many people broke that trust. I can't trust anyone. I'll never have love again. Or a death occurred and we don't understand why. So then sometimes when we're living in that belief, we hold on too tightly to our heart. We might block it. We might not let others in. We might seclude, or we might start escaping with external things that are not healthy for us. Our beliefs come over our lifetime from our culture, our family, our own life history, our religion, and of course, our inner world. They also come from something bigger than self that we maybe can't explain, but we just know. When I was a little girl, I loved the sky. I still love the sky. I was so amazed at the 4th of July fireworks and the stars in the night sky. They were magic to me. I still look at the stars and sometimes I'll get teary-eyed. It's magic. That started my belief in anything is possible. Anything is possible. And then, of course, our beliefs can shift over time. Hopefully, as we become more awake and more connected to self in healthier ways, we can believe in ourselves and others, as well as the connection to our higher power. We can learn to self-love, take more risks. It's all connected. The way we live, hopefully, is in agreement with our beliefs. And that is where we will be on that road to our highest good. And of course, it's tricky, right? Because we're human and we have experiences and we get hurt and things don't always go our way. And then we might lose our belief. We can always get it back and it can always grow in strength. So what are your beliefs? Take a moment, take a breath. Think about what your beliefs are. Our beliefs are tied to our value system. So what do you value? What are some things that you value in your own life or you'd like more of in your own life? And then stretch that. Is that in line with your soul story? Are they in line with your actions? So a few beliefs might be, I believe in hard work. I believe in integrity. If you believe in honesty, if honesty is important to you, then are you living honestly? Are you honest to yourself? Honest to others? Or do we tell white lies because we're afraid of the consequences of the truth? White lies to ourselves, white lies to others. In relation to self and also the greater community, you know, everything is beyond us. We don't live in a bubble. So all of those things that we live and believe absolutely affects us. And it also affects all those that we encounter. I believe my family, personally, I believe my family will always be there for me. And they have, and I do. I was blessed with a large family, and I still have 9 living siblings and 1 living parent. We were raised, this big tribe we were raised by 2 parents that believed in the importance of the power of family. So regardless of any family issues that come up, each of us is there for another person. None of us have ever given up on each other. Just don't do it. It's not always easy, right? Because we all have stuff. And that's how I've raised my own 5 kids. My 5 kids and their spouses and partners are all there for each other through some really pretty tough times. But we all know no one will ever be left in the cold, ever. And I'm in awe of that. And I appreciate that. And I try to live that way. Why? Because that's one of our beliefs that's been ingrained in my family system that I have really locked into and continue. And hopefully my kids will raise their families in that same way. We believe in a strong family system. We believe in the importance of a tribe. Sometimes we get so busy that we forget that we might be living our belief system. Are we living our belief system? Even if we want to, we might not be. So we want to be checking in with it. I need to remind myself to check in with some family members sometimes because I have a pretty full schedule. I need to remind myself to check in with my friends because my friends are also really important to me. I value my friendships so much, like I value my family. And then it needs my attention and time because I want to walk that talk. I want to talk about values for just a moment. What are your values? Values is a word that encompasses so many different things. I value laughter. I value adventure. I value travel. I value each person. I value my connection to my higher power. I value my connection to my higher power. We're going to get more into that in just a little bit because that's important. It's so much easier for us to feel confident in our life if we believe in something greater than ourselves. Otherwise, we become a little too secluded. And it's so much easier to live by our faith and our belief system if we feel like we're always going to be okay. We have a tribe. Whoever that tribe is, we have a tribe. Because sometimes life isn't easy. We all know that. Sometimes we've been lied to, betrayed, emotionally or physically abused, abandoned. And then we start to doubt those around us. And this could have happened in childhood, but can also start in adulthood, where we just feel like we got knocked around a little bit too much. And then the doubt creeps in. And then the doubt grows bigger because we're allowing it to. We're sitting in it. We're allowing the doubt to grow and not change the thoughts. Not that it's easy, right? It's not always easy to change the thoughts, but it is absolutely worth it. Otherwise, we're going to continue to bring in more of that same junk that we're trying to avoid. The tricky thing is, the more we believe something, the more it becomes our reality, whether that's a positive aspect or an aspect that's going to hurt us. So if we believe in the value of healthy relationships, if I believe that I'm never alone, if I believe in the importance of family, then I'm living it, hopefully. I believe I create my own happiness. So happiness has to start from within. And we've talked about this in other episodes where when we're feeling low energy, we have the power to shift it. We have the power to say, I control my own happiness. I believe my destiny is my birthright. Yet it's up to me to align with that. It's up to me to take steps in the direction that's going to lead me to my destiny, to follow the signs. I believe all people are of equal value. And then we treat people of equal value. We don't feel more important or less important than anyone else. And remember, we're all going to struggle. Even though I have this strong family and great kids and I love my career, and I do believe anything is possible, sometimes I feel overwhelmed. Sometimes my faith drops. I believe in myself, and the things that I've done in my lifetime have taken work and effort, but we're human. So there are days when we're going to be a little bit more, there are days when we're going to struggle just a little bit more. Even though I personally believe I'll always be okay, it does not mean we sometimes don't struggle with doubt. It doesn't mean you're doing a bad job or you're not on the right path. Doubt is absolutely part of the human experience. It always will be. We can learn to shift the doubt with, of course, mindfulness and then action. So remember that our beliefs, the messages we've been telling ourselves, that shapes the world around us in positive ways that lead us to our highest potential, or not so positive ways that are going to take us down the rabbit hole. And then we feel more stuck and life becomes more hard and we have less joy and we don't take those risks to follow to our greatness. Now I hear people say, I'll never be good enough. I'll never be able to succeed that. I was walking with one of my dear friends today and she's got this cool thing. And someone she was telling about said, oh my gosh, what if you fail? What if you fail? What if we fail? We could go down that path and then we could get stuck on that. Oh no, what if I fail? That is why there's so many people that don't fulfill their destiny. When they cross over, they feel like, God, I wish I would have. So that's where we want to go. We want to make sure that we are checking in with what do we believe and are we living it? Because the more we live our beliefs, the more we are on the track to our destiny. And I'm talking about the beliefs to your highest good. I'm not talking about the low level energy beliefs on that vibrational scale. We want to be careful we're not in those because that will absolutely perpetuate more of those shadow beliefs. We are meant to change the belief system for our highest good. We're meant to be more connected to divine light. We're meant to raise our vibration every day, throughout the day, checking in. And if you believe that your friends are trustworthy, then you're going to bring in more trustworthy friends. However, if your friends are not, then ask your higher power, align with divinity. Help me bring in friends that are where I want them to be. And then believe it's so. And let go of those ones that are taking you down with them. Just like anything, right? It's those action steps. We make the changes by opening the windows and doors, even when it's a little hard. And we have faith, even when we can't see the outcome or the reason, because we're not always going to. We didn't get the job we wanted. A serious illness showed up in someone we love or in ourselves. We don't know that something better isn't coming, and we don't know that some sort of goodness might be happening. It might not even be something we understand until we leave Earth. We just want to be careful that we're not holding on, having to know a why. Because if we believe in something greater than ourselves, we get back on the horse and move forward in our own timing, in our own healing. Those are times that believing is way more challenging, yet it is part of our purpose here on Earth. That's one of my beliefs. How do you change our beliefs? You know, we have our belief system. Some are working for us, some are not. How do we change them so we're now in alignment with the story our soul came here for us to live out? Think of it this way. Just like we pay attention to our food, our health, we might also choose to pay attention to our belief system. And if we're living it, then we're matching. Now we're in alignment. Now our soul and our physical body are in alignment. Much easier for things to work out well. Doesn't mean there's not hard work, though. If we're living what we believe, that's where life will flow more. And of course, we let our mind wander, Or we harness the thoughts back, get back in alignment. What are my goals? Now, am I just taking steps toward that goals, or am I just sticking them in that folder that's getting bigger and bigger and bigger? This has been since 2020-ish, and it's going to continue on through at least 2025. We are in huge, powerful times of change here on Earth. Huge. All of us is feeling it. Everyone I know is feeling that push to change something, more discontent. Where do you feel the biggest nudge or shift? Are you paying attention? Where in your life do you feel the most discontent? Take a breath. Ask yourself, what do I feel like I complain the most about? What are my thoughts around that? Can I adjust my thoughts so I'm getting more in line with what I want? Can I change my belief system to support me and not hold me back? So when we're stuck, we might not even know what we value. That's a good time to look at, what do we believe? What do I value? Am I living those values? Check in with yourself. So much easier for us when we allow ourselves to check in with ourselves at least once a day. And again, not to create a pile of shame or blame, just as a student here on Earth. Is that how I reacted to that? Is that in line with my belief system? Sometimes you're going to get a no, absolutely not, because we're human. And then we move forward and try it again a different way. One step at a time. One step at a time, getting back on that alignment path leads to greater belief in self. It raises our self-esteem. It's always a choice, always a choice. Everything in life is a choice, even when we don't think it. It is. We need to stay determined when we're feeling strong. Much easier for us to get back in alignment if that's been our new pattern. It's much easier to make healthy decisions when we're feeling strong. So that's a time to really assess. And then on those days that we're not feeling strong, those are the days to get back to commit to getting back on that path, getting back on that horse every time we fall down, because we're gonna. It's part of our experience. Have faith that we can find our own North Star. We're meant to. So if you believe you can be a writer, then we need to write. Absolutely. Doesn't even matter what you're writing. Get that practice going. Get that motion. Take those steps that gets the ball rolling. Even when you don't know what to write, do it anyway. The universe will always support us when we're taking that steps, we're getting back in the flow. And remember, that doesn't mean all of a sudden we're going to get a book deal. It's tried and true over time, taking the risks, making the time for our dreams, making the time to get to know what our dreams are, and then living that value system. If I believe taking care of my physical health is important, yet I'm not doing it, my self-esteem goes down. If I believe taking care of my health is important, and remember what, like the 80% rule, then my self-esteem goes up and I have more energy to be checking in with my belief system. So it's all intertwined. Our beliefs affect all aspects of ourselves, our bodies, minds, and spiritual parts. The greater our faith, the greater our confidence grows. And the faith grows with the more we are tuning into our internal world in healthy ways, not for shame or blame it, to lament or continue to be stuck. Checking in, being in forgiveness to self. And now, what's causing me to feel stuck? Is there a statement attached? Because remember, faith isn't always easy, but it is always a choice. Another way for us to shift into the healthier belief system is to start to notice more beauty in life. There's so much beauty. Right outside my window is this incredibly gorgeous, tall, vibrant, vivacious tree. And I notice it every day. I have a little statue of a girl dancing underneath it. Why? Because it's a good reminder for me. Dance in the beauty. So where in your life can you notice more beauty? That will lead you to where in your life can you notice more beauty. That will lead you back onto that path of living a healthier life towards your highest potential, which is why it's so important to be checking with the belief system. It's a greater picture. It's to get us to allow ourselves to let our light shine. So notice the beauty in the sunrise. Notice the beauty of the trees. Notice the beauty of just someone that you appreciate. Notice the beauty in some photos, the sky. Be mindful of appreciation. And then, of course, belief in the greater good. Change the thoughts, belief in others. So take a moment and take a breath. Ask yourself, what has been holding you back from living in your biggest light? What's holding you back from living in your biggest light? What belief, even one, needs to shift? When I look back at my life with all the ups and downs and sideways movements, I did not know where I was headed a lot of the time. I had no idea when I was 20 something that this is where my life was going to take me. I continued to follow the nudges to the best of my ability. Not all the time. I had a lot of times when I was down in the dumps for sure. But when I did not follow the nudges, I always had a little regret. I could feel it. I should have done that. Why? Because those nudges were what was trying to lead me to live a healthier belief system, to believe in myself, to believe in my connection to my higher power, to believe that magic is real and possible. And then remember, again, that requires determination, not quitting, not giving up, because we don't always have immediate results. But action is always required on some level. So I was raised in the generation of don't let your head get too big. Don't let yourself have a big ego. And for a long time, I was living smaller than my being wanted me to live. That's why it took me so long to get the podcast going, because I was raised with that belief that isn't serving my highest good, not when our intention is to do things for the greater good beyond me. Checking in, that was a belief I needed to release. So what's your intention? And then look at the beliefs around that. Letting our light shine is not having a big ego. It's bringing more bounty to the earth. It's showing people that it's absolutely possible and important to take those great steps, those risks, which some people are going to say is easy. For some people, starting a podcast would be really easy. For me, it was harder because of that old belief system. We're to live big. We're to live big, whatever that means for you. So our heart, our being radiates light and love, because now we're changing the world for the better. And so how does this connect with our higher power? How do we know we're on the right path? Well, there are always signs. There's always nudges. They always will lead you to shift your belief system so it's in line with your highest potential in this lifetime. Your higher power, your higher self, the universe will show you and lead you if we just keep our eyes, ears, heart, mind open, body, because we always have support. This is where signs and nudges come in. I have faith that a team of helpers are beyond earth for me. And if I have that belief, which I do, then I'm talking to them. I'm asking for things that I need. I'm sending out my wishes. I'm believing it's possible. And I connect and speak to that team regularly. I don't know who the team is. Are they even real? Who knows? Who knows? But it helps me stay on my path. It helps me find joy every day. So start small. Ask parking angels for parking spots. And I've done that for years, and I can now visualize the parking spot in my head. And sure enough, that's the parking spot. But it's because I've practiced it over years and years, and I believe it's real. So it's real for me. So think about the signs you've had in this lifetime. Now, remember in the first episode when I talked about how nervous I was and I was going to cancel on Jacob, the editor. I was like, I can't do it today. But a blue jay crashed right into my patio window. Wasn't hurt, flew away. And I looked that up, the symbology of a blue jay, and that was what I needed to remember. That I'm following my inspiration. I'm following my destiny, going towards where I'm supposed to go. And it's not comfortable, but that was the sign I needed. The universe has your back. We just cannot call it quits. And that blue jay flying into the window said, don't you quit. The universe is always providing breadcrumbs. Just follow the breadcrumbs, just like the story of Hansel and Gretel. Notice, pay attention, ask for signs. Signs are great. And what spirit will do for us, what our higher self, what our guides might do, what the earth will do. A woman I work with, lovely woman, I work with her right now pretty much every week. And we were talking about a shift in her life and the goddess energy that's coming through for her as she's really allowing herself to align and grow into a beautiful healer. And as we're talking, she was hiking outside and she looks down and there was a goddess card laying on the ground. Sometimes you get shivers on your arms when you speak about something. Where's that from? Signs everywhere. After my father had passed away, I was walking outside with my daughter. We used to do a lot of night walks. And we were talking about the potential to move back to Minnesota. And not only was there one shooting star, there was two. Huge. And we both saw them. We both got the shivers. And that was another reminder for me. Live my belief system. We are not alone here. We are not. There's a lot of magic we can't see. So if we pay attention to those signs, it can help us. We just have to believe the signs are real. We have to believe. What is your belief system? There's a woman I was working with and her family because her daughter, around 20-ish, unexpectedly died in a car accident. It was horrible. And it was extremely painful for her and her family, of course. And she came to see me. The daughter started coming to me quite frequently. And I would be busy doing something else with work and I'd get this nudge. Okay, I got to reach out. So I would text the mom, are you near something? Because there's a hawk right in front of you and your daughter wants you to know. Well, she had just pulled up to a stop sign and there was a hawk on the stop sign. Or another time it was, are you and your family in your backyard? Pay attention to the big nest. And sure enough, she texted me back and said, oh my gosh, there's a huge turkey vulture nest. And the three of us, the family members, were all just looking at it in awe. Where does that come from? What's out there? So those signs help us have faith if we allow them to. Or maybe it's all coincidence. Dreams, another way to get those nudges, paying attention to your dreams. Sometimes our dreams are, in my belief system, chatter. Like if we're having a harder time, we might just have a lot of process going on, but sometimes they're bigger than that. Pay attention to your dreams. Our dreams, know what it is. Have a little dream journal. Because the more we're paying attention to the signs, the dreams, the feelings, the nudges, it's way easier to stay on the path. Because it's tough to believe before something is actualized. Well, I'll believe it when I see it. You know, how often have we heard that? Well, you might never see it if you don't believe it. So we can go from full faith and belief to all of a sudden, nothing's working and my life sucks. I don't believe in magic anymore. Now we can ride that roller coaster. Or we can say, okay, I'm really going to start to control the thoughts and pay attention to, am I living my belief system? Am I living? Can I get back into faith? Because the more I get back into faith, the more goodness I might see. Who knows? Sure feels a lot better though. So trust that you have gifts and talents that you're supposed to share. Trust that you have gifts and talents. Trust that those nudges are real. Trust that when you're inspired to do something, it's for you and you're meant to do it. I encourage you to get a journal or a notebook or use your phone and start to keep track of all the nudges and all the signs. And then ask yourself, what are my beliefs? Am I living my belief system? Starting to live your belief system, the higher vibrational beliefs that all is possible, that you came for a journey to fulfill whatever your destiny is. It's going to be easier to stick with it when you're paying attention to the signs, the nudges. So before we end, I'd like to do a little breath work, connecting the heart, your heart chakra, with your upper belly, your solar plexus. Take a nice inhale, as always, through the nose, down the throat, paying attention to the spine because we hold a lot of our history in our spine, in our bones. What is one belief that you're ready to release that's no longer serving your highest good? With the exhale, let it go. Maybe you'll have to do that a few times. It's okay. And with the next inhale, what is one belief that you're ready to grow? One thing that your heart is urging you to believe. So you might have a hand on your heart again and a hand on your belly. What is that one thing that you want to believe, but that wounded part of you is doubting that it's possible? So you don't even let yourself have that belief because you're sick of being disappointed. But change that. Take a moment right now to change that. Say that new belief in your head with the breath. We want to incorporate the body. Say it out loud. Write it down when you remember to. Inhale deep in the belly, the sides, and the back with that new belief. And may it be so. Practice this every day until that belief grows stronger than the doubt. Because when you start to get that belief stronger than the doubt, your energy goes up and the excitement builds to keep this going. So no one can pop that bubble. And of course, get a support team around it. People you trust. We don't have to share everything with everybody. But you want to have a support team that believes in your dream too. That says, yes, you got this. You can do it. I believe in you. And then you rely on those people that support what you want. And you rely on yourself to stay mindful of your thoughts. So connecting with your inner self, connecting with your support group, and connecting with your team that you can't see. That team that is beyond earth. Because remember, just because we cannot see it does not mean it isn't real. Thank you for joining me. Have a beautiful week, and I'll see you next Wednesday. Hey, listeners, thanks again for joining me. If you want to learn more about me, services I offer, who I am, please check out my website, megmichaelson.com. Also there, you can join my newsletter. I do the best job I can to send it out monthly, no guarantees. Follow me on Instagram and YouTube. Thanks again for coming. I'll see you next time.